Well, this is a new week, and it's the end of the week, and we're getting our boarding pass. But this has been a serious week, a very serious week for the state of Texas and for the United States of America. You know, we've been plussing up the Veterans Administration for years. Over 300% in the last 6 years has the VA been plussed up. And now we have what looks like a nationwide scandal at the VA. This came up in 2012 in our own VA, and we were aware of it. People came to us and talked to us about it. We called for an Inspector General's report. They made one, and as a result, the upper leadership transferred out of the VA there in Temple looking for what was supposed to be a solution to the problem. But obviously it wasn't, and obviously we've been lied to. And quite honestly, I don't have a lot of confidence in the Inspector General as a result of that particular instance. Therefore, I'm joining with Senator Corning and others calling for a complete FBI investigation of the VA at every level, including our local level. It's time that I think criminal acts have taken place, and I'm a firm believer that if a crime has been violated, that they should be prosecuted, and if the perpetrators should be sent to prison. And that's how serious this situation is as far as I'm concerned. And that's the position I'm taking as we go forward on this VA investigation. In addition to what's going on at the VA, which is as big a problem as we need or could ever want in this country, we've got a disaster going on at our southern border. Because of the promise of the DREAM Act by the president and other things, and the no deportation policy established by this president, we are having people that they call OTMs, other than Mexicans, flood the border. Now, why do we use that term, other than Mexicans? Because we have an agreement with Mexico that we can return those people who come into our country illegally directly back to Mexico, but we cannot return people from other countries back to Mexico. Therefore, when we receive someone from another country, we have to deliver them back to their own country. And if we have a no deportation order, they don't have much risk to be sent back to their other country, at least immediately. So they're flooding in. And as part of that flood, something that every parent and grandparent in the state of Texas and across the United States should be really concerned about is we are having a flood of unaccompanied minors crossing the border. This is a planned operation, bringing in children without parental support or guidance or anyone to protect them, bringing them in as young as 3 and 4 years old up to teenagers, and dumping them into America and asking them to go, and they go straight to our authorities and turn themselves in. And then we have to transport those children to their parents, wherever those parents may be. Now, those parents have come into this country illegally. And, you know, my dad always said two wrongs don't make a right. So we have two people that have broken the law to come into this country, and now they've paid coyotes to bring their children and put their children at risk in a foreign country to try to so-called reunite the family. Now, how bad is this number? 2 years ago, we had 6,600 children, unaccompanied children in this country. This year, we anticipate 66,000 of these children will be delivered mostly to the Rio Grande Valley of Texas. Now, these are children that are being delivered by cartel members, people who are trafficking in sex and drugs and violence. And these parents are paying these cartel thugs to transport these kids across the border. And quite honestly, if this was an American kid in an American society, it would be grounds for terminating parental rights of the parents for putting their children in that kind of risk. So this is a phenomenal disaster, and we as Texans and as American citizens should be shocked and, quite honestly, pretty dang mad about the fact that this is a new plan where two wrongs don't make a right, but they're trying to say it does. This is ridiculous. But this is something that we in Texas have to face. It's our fight. It's in our lap. And we're going to do something about it. I'm going to spend an inordinate amount of time in the next year down on the Rio Grande with our forces down there that are trying to turn this tide. We're going to make sure that they get the resources and the people that they need to fix this problem. And we're going to do everything we can to do it. And if we have to call upon our state or our National Guard or whatever to assist, in my opinion, this is a crisis of a level that we need to do that. So this has been a week to sit around and ponder what's going wrong with an administration that takes a position that they're not going to enforce the existing laws on the books, and the consequences of prosecutors and enforcement folks who don't enforce the law. And I'm not talking about our Border Patrol or our ICE. I'm talking quite honestly about the Justice Department. This is serious business. Every Texan ought to know about it, and we need to get something done about it. So as I go home this week, for this weekend, we've got serious problems we got to deal with.